Welcome to the Tint Life Podcast with Montana, the Tint Craftsman, Kayla Ramirez, and Alicia Yancey. Join us as we talk about tint and life.
Welcome to the Tint Light Podcast. I am your host, Montana, the Tint Craftsman. Today is Women Wednesdays. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let the ladies have the studio because I'm going to go because this is Women Wednesday. So, ladies, it's all yours.
Welcome to the Tint Life Podcast, your go-to destination for all things window tinting. I'm Kayla Ramirez, owner of Goddess Window Tinting, and I'm here with
Alicia Yancey, owner of Ace of Shades, and join us as we explore window tinting, sharing tips, and we're going to give women in this industry a voice.
So whether you're a seasoned pro or just tint curious, join us as we dive into the colorful world of window tinting. And now we're excited to introduce our special guest, and I'll let you introduce yourself, girl.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I am Roberta. I'm the owner of Modesto Window Tint and founder of California Tint Academy. And I want to thank you for having me. Excited.
We're
We're
so
excited to have
you
you.
here.
Yeah. So what?
Uh-oh, I think we muted you. Can you hear us?
That might be. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear you
ma'am.
now.
I don't know what's going on with that. Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we're good now.
Perfect.
Okay, so tell us about your tint school, your tint academy.
My Tint Academy is in Modesto, California. It's called California Tint Academy. I launched this about a year and a half ago now, and it's a 4-day hands-on training. So we're pretty much doing them about twice a month, give or take. Sometimes it's once a month, depending on our schedule and how things are going, because of course I still run my other business as well. But so far what we're doing is we're just trying to help individuals that are trying to get into the industry, educate them, teach them the skill, and get them signed up. So
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. I love that. So what other kind of
How-
community? Go ahead, Alicia.
Go ahead, Alicia.
How did you even get into the mindset of having an academy?
Actually, it's an easy question. I was in the industry since 2002. And being in the industry, I could never really find window tinters, and there's no school for it. Especially back when I first started, that was like what, yellow pages and door-to-door type of stuff. I don't know if you ladies are familiar, but that's
Yeah.
how we grew a business back then. We wanted like the biggest yellow page and, the biggest flyer, the biggest page of anything that we can get on with the community just to get the, phone calls coming in. We didn't have much cell phones. It was like landlines. And so
Girl, you're a hustler because you didn't have the social media.
I know,
I don't
right?
know. Honestly, I don't even know how I did it back then. I did it, but because I'm still here, thankfully. And it was not having the staff that I needed to grow. So as I started to promote myself more, and this is what I did back then, not now because I'm older, but I would go out to like nightclubs and different, anything that would bring in lots of crowd. And I would do like events there, host events, or like, let's say street fairs. I would put up booths and I would have them like at the nightclubs, I'd have them announce me. I'd have them put my table, VIP table with my banners in the background and flyers everywhere. Cause
Oh, I
that's what
love
you had to
that.
do back then.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And you know how pop-ups, they're pretty popular now. I did pop-ups
Mhm.
before pop-ups. So I was doing, I was doing like street fairs. I would just put a booth up and I would try to get like, my business cards to everybody. And I would have behind me, I would have displays of like all the shades so that I could show people like I do window tinting and, it was just the way it was back then. And so, but I never had anybody that I could just call and be like, hey, you want to work today? Or there was not that kind of help like it is now. You can find people more so nowadays than you could back then. So I had to train and I would train somebody and then, they would learn eventually. Everybody wants to spread their wings and they realize like I could do this myself, I'm thankful though, because everybody that I did train, most of them, they stood for a while, they gave me many years. and then they launched off, opened up their own business. And so I
That's
had
all
to
you can
start
ask for,
over
really.
and then
Yeah.
start over. And so I thought, you know what? It's my business runs, Modesto Window Tint runs. It's so successful. It's just, it's a well known, in where I'm from, it's well known. So we already
Mhm.
have so much, just regulars and people, word of mouth referrals and social media. So I said, I want to level up. I want to do something different. It was kind of a little bit after COVID, right around then, but I'm sure we all stood busy at COVID. We all know that as window
Mhm.
tenners, that was like the best time of our lives because we were all bawling and
Yeah.
booked out for months. And so I thought, you know what? It's time for me to invest. Of course, we made a ton of money back then. So you're sitting on so much to what are you
Mhm.
going to invest in? How could I level up? What could I do? And I knew that I wanted to pay forward what I was taught. I wanted to be able to help this next generation get in. I know that it was hard for us to have just hire a window tinner. So I opened up the training academy, and I opened up not knowing like this can go either way. Just like anything we open, this can go either
Yeah.
way. This can be a good thing. This could be a bad thing. But either way, I'm willing to try. So
Right. Because
I ended up,
essentially you are
I went for
building
it.
your.
I launched it. Honestly, you guys, like when I launched it, I thought like, not when I got my very first sign up, I was so excited. I was like running to everybody. I'm like, I got my first sign. I got my first training. I honestly didn't even know how to handle it. I'm
Yeah.
like, now what do I
Mhm.
do? So it was like, it just started like after that, it was another lead. And Titwiz was just like, I was like, like I'm going to train
They
all these
want
people.
me.
How the hell am I going to do that? So it just fell into place, and it snowballed from there. And then I just, there would be some times where I'll have like all these signups just coming in. And then there will be times where it's like, oh, we only have 3 here. But on that same
Mhm.
month, we have like 5 here. So we're trying to like, should we host 2 different classes in 1 month? Or should we try to, bring them all
Put 'em
into one
all.
class and make it one big class? But we ended up sticking to that to, because
Mhm.
we noticed as we did it more and more that it was easier with like 6 to 8 was comfortable. And after that, I'm like, okay, any other than that, it's harder to give them that one-on-one that they
Mhm.
need. So even with the, my trainers that I have, they're just like, Berta, you're killing me. Like, just keep it right here. So that's where we've kept it. And it just took off. So when I launched it, it took off. Like it just started happening. And I was like, wow, this is the real deal. Like I got to keep going now because now
Yeah. People
I've got
believe in me.
people, they look up to me. They've got people that are relying on me, that are expecting me to mentor them after, and I can't fail, So I just kept
Right.
going, just
And you
kept
won't
marketing.
fail. You are so determined. You are so inspiring.
I'm still determined. Like what you see is not the whole, we all know as ladies, like we
Mhm.
put out what they want to see. We put out what's necessary. We put out what's limited. Of course,
Mhm.
if we were really to put the whole back end of what we go through as females in the industry, I mean, we probably should one day say,
It's rough. Yeah,
it's
it's
rough,
rough.
Girl, you don't even
it's
know.
I know. I see both of you guys. I'm like, I'm excited because I'm like, wow, finally, this is happening. Like I'm in this generation now from being like this only women in this generation for so long without all these other women that were
Mhm.
I can go and talk with like now. And now it's like it's a good feeling to know like I've stuck around this long to actually be able to see this vision that I've always wished. Like, why can't we ever have more women in the industry? Why can't
Oh, we lost your audio.
but it is. And so now it's exciting.
It
So
is.
Yes.
It's nice having
I love what both of
people.
you are doing.
I love having people that actually understand us because, like, the men understand, they do, but they don't get it. They don't get it like y'all get it.
No, no, not at all. But you
Do you
know
have
what? Go ahead. I
do you
talk a
have
lot,
like
so.
no, you're fine. Me too. Do you have people who like come all over the country or do you still have like just locally for your tinning school?
Hardly any locals, and that's what I like.
Really?
It's everybody coming from everywhere. So when I launched it, my marketing guy that I work with, he's awesome. Like he was like, this is what I want you to do is I want you to target different towns, bringing in people from all over. At first, my mind was set like, oh, I'm going to get just my locals. I'm just going to get people to come to me. But he expanded my mind on so much different opportunity out there that I was like, okay, let's do it. And I thought at
People are
that point,
serious.
like, I'll try it, but ain't nobody gonna fly out here to come see me. Well, they do. They come out from everywhere. They fly in, they stay at a local hotel, and they do the 4-day training, and they stay friends after. So it's like we build like this little California
Community.
Tint Academy family. So
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
That's awesome.
And they come, so they're from everywhere. We have like people that actually own shops or like detailing shops or paint protection shops, and they just want to bring revenue to their business. We have people that don't have time to train already existing tent shops. Like I have a couple coming on. One owns a detailing shop this upcoming class. Another one just sent his employee in. They come for different reasons. We have some that just want to open up and start their own business. So they come down, they train, and a lot of them, you girls, I'm telling you, they're all doing great. So when I see that, I'm like, I'm doing my job. My trainers are
Right.
doing their job, because these people are doing great, and we're watching them
Right.
post their work. They're doing everything that we mentored them from social, because we do like a business development seminar, like small seminar, just basically giving them, what do you do after you complete the training? And they really soak that up, and they take all that knowledge, and they rock it with it. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
They're doing
that's
great.
super important, because like once I get this knowledge, okay, what do I do outside? It's easy to do it while I'm in your class, but what should I do outside of here? And that's the biggest part that people struggle with. So that's good that y'all like in the class, y'all talk about it and y'all try to figure out, because we got to have them steps.
Yeah.
So what we gonna do after?
Yeah. One thing I always tell everybody, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been in the industry long enough, but is prepare yourself for the winter, because so many people think like, I'm making all this money in the summer, and they look at it like shopping spree, or but it's really about like managing your money correctly and being prepared for those slow days in the winter, so that you're able to keep your overhead covered and your staff, or whatever it is that they're doing in their beginning. I'm sure there's no staff, but in general, just to have money in the bank and make sure that, okay,
Right.
I can push through my winter days, and I'm going to, be ready to, be able to go through another upcoming summer. So
Right.
that's one thing I really try to tell even people outside, people that are barely getting in the industry, be prepared, because
Yeah,
as
you're
window
gonna have a
tinters,
slow
yeah,
season. Any
huh?
business,
Yeah,
you're gonna have a slow season, so you got to
yeah,
prepare.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got to
absolutely.
prepare. So that's my advice to a lot of them. But everything that we've taught them, they pretty much they use it and roll with it.
That's
Yeah, because
good. That's good.
you're so good at what you do, they have to, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's something that like you wish you would have known like 10 years ago?
Something I wish I would have known 10 years ago would probably be that I didn't have to feel so intimidated by customers. Nowadays, I
That's
can look
good.
at a customer and they will not intimidate me. They can try their hardest. They can come at me with every shot, and I'm ready. I'm like, hit me. I don't care, because I'm prepared for it, but back then I was so feared by just their presence, of sometimes how they would approach me, how they would say, who's going to tint my car, and give me this weird look,
Mm-hmm.
or even try to nitpick things that now I would be like, that looks good, and you're tripping. But it's back then, I would be like, I'll give you a refund. I was just
Yeah.
so, I wish I was more tough. I wish I was tougher and
Right.
than I am than than how I am now.
Yeah,
Does that make
Yeah.
yeah.
sense?
It
Yeah,
But
does.
that's a hard thing about
that
being a
takes
woman.
time. It
That's the hard thing about
is.
being a woman in this industry, is like we're just so like nurturing and catering already, and we try not to be problematic, because the first time you start a problem, or you already know what words coming out there that you are.
Yeah.
So
You a
like,
Yeah.
B word like
so you
Yeah.
just try to just be not problematic and make the customer happy. Oh, I'll redo it for you 100 times.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I
It's
definitely
true.
understand that. I'm glad you said that, because that can
Now,
help me.
yeah, now I'm like, I put my foot down and I really stand my ground, and I never let them make me feel like I don't know what I'm doing, because
Yeah.
I know clearly what I'm doing. Maybe back then when I was just younger, like just getting started, like how you guys are always, I can't address anymore, but to just never break. Don't ever let them see that weak side of you. Just really stand your ground and be like, it is what it is, and handle it the way it is supposed to be handled. Handle it the way like what you've done, that looks good, that, like, let's say they accuse you of doing something wrong with there's something on their car. Do that walkthrough before you start their car. Check and see if there's anything wrong with their car inside and out, and ask them, is there anything wrong with your car that I need to know about? If they say no, say, okay, well, I found this scratch right here. Just want to do a walkthrough, make sure you see it, I see it. Okay, all those little tiny tips help you as a business owner. So when somebody tries to like pick on you because you're a female in the industry, and men do that, then you're already ready for it. You're
Yeah.
ready for
Right.
what's going to come at us. And we get picked on more. I don't anymore. I really don't anymore, but I used to. And like
Yeah.
getting in the industry like you guys are, I used to. But now I'm like, I don't show any fear. Like, I
It
really
shows.
don't.
It
I'm
shows so
like, I don't
much.
really care. You
Yeah.
can like me, or you can go next door and like them. I don't
Yeah.
care. I'm going to keep doing me.
I love
Oh, I
that.
can't wait to get to that point, girl.
You will. You will.
You
Just
will.
really stand. Just remember what I'm telling you, and just stand tough. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
stand tough. And you know what? You'll learn, like, you're not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. And always know, like, if there's a customer that just don't like you, then you don't want them as your customer anyways.
Yeah, they're
Let them
not
go
your
somewhere
ideal
else.
person. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that
want
we
them to
don't
leave.
connect with everybody. Not everybody is going to like us. Some people may walk in my shop and be like, and I have a nice shop, they may still be like, I don't want to go here. Maybe because the simple fact I'm a female, or the simple fact that they just don't like me. It could be
Yeah.
for any reason. Just, who cares? Let them
Yeah.
go, and you'll gain another one.
Yeah, a better
So,
one.
a better one. Yeah. Yep. And it's happened to me where
Absolutely.
I've seen people go, and I'm like, I used to, when I was, just getting started, like you guys, I used to get so sad. I used to think like I just lost like this much, like, yeah, I would lose sleep over it. I would think about
Yeah.
it all
Yeah.
night long. I would be so sad. Now I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm going home. I'm going to sleep. Nothing's bothering me.
Yeah.
So
I don't have to deal with that problematic
just stay
customer no
strong.
more.
That
Nope.
part. Yeah. Yeah,
Going
they're
to bother me. No.
yeah.
So.
So, what's been your greatest failure and how did you recover?
My greatest failure was probably when, and you guys probably don't know about this, but the market hit really bad. So I had grown this great customer group, customers, regular customers, as I would say, like accounts. That's what I'm trying to say. And when the economy got really bad, which I want to say was like 2005 or 2006, right around there, all the accounts that I had at that time were closing, like car lot accounts that I had, different dealers, smaller dealers, and everybody was closing. They weren't selling. It just got really bad to where I thought, like, okay, I'm losing out on this account. Was my monthly. This was my monthly. This is my monthly. And it was hard for me. So at that point I thought, how am I going to make it? Maybe I need to get another job. And I remember my family always telling me, like, Berta, just, go get a different job, do something else. It's hard for you. You're barely making ends meet. You can barely pay your rent. Your car is about to get towed. All kinds of stuff was happening to me. And I thought, like, okay, this isn't working out very well. I don't know what I'm going to do. I started doing door to door, and I started to go out and do like guerrilla marketing. I started to go out and just kind of I would go to the mall, and I would run around the mall, and I would be putting flyers everywhere, just trying to get it on as many cars as I can. $99 back then, and any car that I can, just to, like, and the security used to chase me around the mall, and I would run from one side of the mall to the other, and I would get as many as I can, and then I would go to another store like Marshall's or somewhere else, and I just kept pushing, girls. I kept pushing and pushing. I was like, I don't care. I just need this much money, this much money. And as much as everybody kept telling me, just get another job, I didn't. I kept marketing myself. And things started to pick up little by little, but I remember even hiding from my landlord one time, and he's like knocking on my garage. I know you're in there, and I'm like, oh. And he was all calling him like, I can't pay it all. So I messaged him later. I'm like, I only have this much money. Like, can you just like give me a chance? I have to thank him. I haven't seen him, but this was a long time ago. But I have to thank him for never kicking me out of my little garage at that time, because he could have. He could have many times kicked me out, but he didn't. He felt bad for me, I think, and he would just be like. And one time he went and he put a little needle in my door on my garage door, so I couldn't open it with the key in the morning. He didn't lock me out. He just put a little thin needle. So I'm like, oh, he changed my lock. So and this is years ago. I called him. I'm all, Phil. Can I please just give me one more day? And he was just like, Roberta, your rent is due. And I was like, but I have 2 cars. I'll give it to you. I'll give you the money when I get it. But he never kicked me out. I have to thank him. I should thank him now one day. But I mean, that was back when. But he let me, I got through it, and I ended up, that's when I started doing street fairs and car shows. And just going out there and being like, hey, passing my flyers as I met people, and I made it through. And I just stuck it out. Like, I didn't close shop. I didn't get discouraged. I didn't listen to my family.
And that's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing with this, because you have that, you're going to be busy, super busy for a couple weeks, and then it's like dead quiet for like maybe a week or two. And you get that.
I would pick up my phone and be like, is it on?
Yeah.
I would dial on my phone and I'd be like, it's ringing. Nobody's calling me, but oh well, But
so it's so hard to not get discouraged when you're like starting out how you were. But it's so good that you like persevere and you just kept going. You was like, no, this is what I want to do. Like, I hear the world around me, but I'm drowning that out, and I know what I want to do. And look where you at now. Like, it is so. And I know all the people are like, girl, I'm so glad you kept doing it.
I run into a lot of people that are like, oh my God, like, you made it this far, like, you're doing this good. And I got staff, I got my own crew now, and I got a lot of other things going on, and and I went from living in like my little apartment because, I had my apartment and I had my car payment, I had my shop rent, and I had my children. So I was just like, man, but now I own a house and I have, all this other good stuff going on. And I'm like, I did that window tinting. So I always tell people, you can do it too. Just don't get scared. Don't give up, because it takes time to grow a business. And even with CTA, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know I have a good foundation behind me. I know that I have, already a developed good business that could help with this business. So I think that's how it rocketed, like the way it did.
Yeah.
That's good.
So you did car shows, and what else?
I would do car shows. I would do street fairs.
Street fairs and car shows.
Yeah,
okay.
Street fairs, car shows. I would do door hangers. I would just go to insurance companies and ask them if I can drop off business cards and become their friend. And then social media.
Let me write these down.
I know.
Okay.
You can still do
It's recorded.
You know what? You guys definitely do pop-ups, because pop-ups are really, I don't know where if they are where you're at, but over here they're very popular. Putting in something like putting your booth up at a pop-up, and getting that recognition, like popping, you're literally going to go pop yourself up everywhere. So every time people just start seeing your face over and over and over, they're gonna want to use your services. They're gonna trust in you. And always post your work. Like, even if you're annoying people and you're posting all day long, they will eventually remember you. They may not need you at that time that you're annoying them, but they will remember you later and be like, this girl, oh yeah, there she is. I'm gonna call her. And they already trust you just being, posting all the time. So always using that. And I utilize every social media platform there is. So I'm on Instagram. I have a huge following on Snapchat. And
Snap, you're on Snap?
Yeah.
I need to add you on Snap.
On there. Yeah.
Do people like
you can run ads?
You can run ads on Snap. Yeah. So you can,
Do
I use
people book you from
Snapchat.
Snapchat?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And it's funny
awesome.
because it's like, I just post a car. I don't have to do much. It just, they'll just hitting me up like, hey, can I get a quote or can I book in my car? And then I started to realize like I have all kinds of messages on Snap that I never really open because a lot of them are just stupid men, like just
Yeah.
That's what I
being
was gonna ask
men.
you. Like, how do you like filter out who to add back
You don't.
whenever like
I just made mine as a
No.
subscription and I just let them all on because it's
that's
nothing personal. I keep my
yeah.
personal with my personal, my business with my business, and once in a great while I'll throw something just a little extra on there,
Mhm.
but that's very rare. It's mostly my
Okay.
business page is my business page, my family page is my family page, and I just keep those separated. So
Okay.
they don't
Yeah.
know much about, nobody knows about who is the Tint girl, like what's her backstory. It's just work. So,
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all that
and I
matters.
always like one
Yeah.
thing, if I can tell you guys, and I tell the girls that train with me, you want respect in this industry. You want people to respect you and look at you as a businesswoman, then hold yourself respectfully. Hold yourself like a business woman. Don't put yourself out there and then you're going to get this engagement and this following that aren't isn't going to help you grow your business.
Mhm.
You want to grow your business. You're posting. If you want to have a whole separate page to be looking, do what you do on the side, do it. But like your business page, really keep it professional, really put yourself out there like a professional, and you will get the right audience that are going to want to engage with you and utilize your services versus just a bunch of men that are just like, oh, hey, sexy, you're hot. You're going to get that
Right.
anyways. But you want the people that are going to come to you for window tint. And then
Right.
have your sexy page on the side. Most women are, pretty girls are pretty girls. They want to shop their pretty self, but keeping those two separate is so important. So I always tell women that come in the industry, hold yourself and keep yourself looking like a professional, and you'll get the professional people that you want to use your business. They'll
Yeah.
treat you how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
I
And
definitely
that's
agree with
hard.
that.
Yeah.
Because when I first started tinting, I like kind of combined my personal with my business page. And I was realizing like the comments that you were saying, I got more of those comments. But once I took like personal pictures of me off, don't post
Mm-hmm.
like what I'm doing. Oh, now
Right.
you gotta come in the DMs asking about tint, just tint. So they
Right.
talk to
Yeah,
you way
because that's what you
differently.
want. You don't want to hear a
Mhm.
bunch of people saying you're hot. You already know you're hot.
I
You don't want to
know,
hear a
right?
bunch of people say, "Oh, girl, who cares if you're sexy?"
Right.
You
Are you
Like,
just
so do
want to
you
booking?
want to
hear, "Can
schedule?
I get my car windows tinted? I have this car. I have that." That's what we want. We're there to make money, and
Mhm.
I think if you're beautiful and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing to get the right audience, then they already know you're beautiful and you're
Mhm.
doing a good job. So I always tell people, just hold yourself in this industry, hold yourself with respect. That way you're respected by all the people in the industry too, because you don't want people in the industry talking about, oh yeah, she's da da da. You want them to be
Yep.
like,
Like, she's
she's a
powerful.
baddie.
Yeah,
Yeah, when they talk about me,
absolutely.
I want them to talk about my tent, nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You want them to
yeah.
talk about your window tinting.
And then
So
your beauty is like second, third
yeah,
dairy, you
your
know?
beauty is just it's just an extra bonus, I guess.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
And I think a
but
lot
absolutely.
of
and you're
times
both
women
beautiful.
I think a lot of time women do struggle with that in this industry. Like sometimes they feel like they have to be more sexy to get
Mhm.
that type of clientele, but it does end up giving you the wrong impression on that social
Following,
media platform.
right? The wrong
Absolutely.
following, and then you just have this whole following of perverted men that aren't going to bring you their car. They just want to look at you.
At
So
all.
Yeah.
yeah, I have to do a lot of blocking and
Yeah.
eliminating. I'm like, dude, just shut up.
Yeah.
Because
You're like, you don't
you
want
don't
tint, just go
care.
away.
You really
Yeah,
don't care. It's just like, I just want to work. So
that's
Yeah.
it.
yeah. Any other
Um,
questions?
yeah, so we know that you're involved in the community. So
Yeah.
what are like some community events that you do to like network within your
Um,
community?
I've joined chambers. So like I'm part of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I'm also part of Modesto Chamber of Commerce. I go down to like schools as well, and I do events at the school. I'll do like their career day. And then basically what I'm doing there is just putting up a booth or doing a presentation and some hands-on demo, just to kind of let new generation, the high
Right.
schools, know that, hey, this is a great career to get involved in. With the community, just going down to different events that they have and just socializing, talking about each other's businesses, handing each other our business cards and utilizing each other's services, and being part of those chambers and going to those events really help other people that are in the chamber. When they need something from somebody in the chamber, one of our services, we're going to use each other's services versus somebody that's not part of it. So it really helps you just grow your
Right.
business and stay connected with the community and people in the community, other business owners, small businesses, and it's helpful. So that's another thing you both can do is, and it's so easy to get into a chamber. You just want to reach out to them and let them know, hey, I'm interested in joining one of the chamber, whatever chamber, I don't know where you guys are from, but ask you're interested in joining the chamber, and then start attending those meetings. Always be prepared with your business cards and looking professional, put a smile on your face and network. It's pretty much what it is. And it helps grow your business because they have your back. You know, if you need something and they need something, then help each other out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's very helpful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. Did your chamber do a grand opening with you?
Yeah,
Or
they
were
do.
you?
So any chamber that you join, they'll do like a ribbon cutting.
Did yours do it?
Even
When
if
you?
you've already been in business, they'll still do one for you to welcome you into, and then just kind of cut you, and then you're just part of the chamber. They'll do like a ribbon cutting. You can just host
That's
something
awesome.
for them. Like I would do like a taco truck guy come out and make tacos for them, and just like do giveaways while they come in, you know, just things that I'm giving away back to them for just coming, and just taking pictures and talking about your business to people that just show up. So
That's awesome.
it's really cool. It's really cool thing to do. If you guys want to be a part of a chamber, it's really good to have, not only for, you know, for one of your blogs or something, just to show that you are part of your community, and, you know, and it's just makes it a better profile on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell us more about the inmates that you've been training.
Okay, well, I haven't got to train them yet.
Yeah, but you're about
So,
to start. Yeah, sorry.
So the inmates is a guy that came down here. He is from the Stanislaus County. He actually is what he's doing is getting us on with the county's inmates. So when they're in there for a long time and they're coming out, they have a funding now for them, so where they can go into like some type of trade school, or they're just trying to help them get job placement. So he came down here, he just pretty much signed up my academy. He said, hey, I thought this would be a really good idea. Some of them are coming out, some of them are still in. So when we do train them, we haven't got to, but when I do get my first class of those, I will be doing some videos on it. We will have sheriffs here that will stand along the side. We just had to eliminate like blades and substitute it for, you know, just those little ones that cut, you know what I'm talking about? The blades in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Safety ones.
and then the heat guns, they were okay with that. So a little bit of eliminations, but everything else went
That
smooth.
is
And so we're going
cool.
to be doing that.
I'm so
When I
excited for
heard that,
you.
I was like, that is the coolest thing. Like, that is definitely giving
I
back to your
didn't even know
community.
existed until
I
they came.
know. That's
When
awesome.
he came and he told me, and he was like, congratulations, I landed it. They gave us the approval. We're supposed to start those classes. It's a little process because I have to do some,
Right.
you know, paperwork on my end and them. But it should be hopefully pretty soon, any day now. I'd be expecting them. And what they're going to do is basically help me with filling. I just give them, you know, a certain 4 days, aside from our other classes that I'm filling on my own. They will have their own training dates. And then I just told them that we can do that like once every 1 or 2 months, not all the time, but every once in a while.
That's
We can set
awesome.
something aside for
Because
them.
that's what a lot of inmates need. That they don't know what they like transitioning outside of prison. And tinting, you could be anything and become a tinter and start your own business. And so like tinting is just such a everybody needs tint. Cars are everywhere in this world.
On high demand all the time.
Yeah. So I
I'm
really
also,
commend you. When I heard that, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm also getting in with, I actually have a meeting coming up Friday with, I already kind of been in with getting in with the people that are coming out of the Army, Marines. So they have a funding for them as well. And what they're going to do is basically give my training academy as an option for them. Same thing. What are you going to do
Transition.
now that you're coming out? A lot of them, believe it or not, a lot of them don't have a career path when they're coming out of the Army or the Marines or Air Force. They're just kind of like, some of them do and some of them don't. And so that's where we'll step up, and my academy will be an option for them to be able to take my training course, and it'll be paid by their funding that they have for them.
That's
So that's another
awesome.
good thing.
That's so
Yeah, that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll work with anybody. I don't care who they are.
I know, right?
You know,
Everyone
that check
if they
clear.
wanna learn, we can teach you. You know, it's all up to the individual after they learn. It's like, what do you want to do? You know, I've taught you the skill, and of course, it's not all laid down on the 4-day training, the basic training, and now it's up to them to just keep practicing. It's like muscle memory, and then grow themselves from there. I always tell people,
I
when
think
you finish the training, dive right into it. Don't stop. You know, don't take a break. And
I think that's what people get kind of confused at, because like they'll take a class and think that they're supposed to be like the best tenor after this class. And it's like, no,
nope.
you get better only with experience. And I'm pretty sure like even all the years that you have in, you're still learning. You still have new vehicles that come in with different window shapes, and some commercial properties you do. It's just a whole different, you're always learning in this industry.
Right. And I tell them, like, you never stop learning. You know, when the first time the Tesla ever came out, I freaked out. The guys are all, we got a Tesla. I'm like, oh no, we didn't. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh my God, please tell me they're not waiting. And then they were like, oh, they can actually see us working on their car. I'm like, oh, we better all pretend like we know what we're doing right now. And so I went up and I grabbed a piece of tape and I taped up every single camera, because I was like, I don't want them to see if I mess this up. But it took like, I think I did it like in 3 tries or something. It took me a minute, you know, just we know the concept. And this is like for anybody, like for instance, that are taking our training, they go off and they get like, you know, let's say they get a Dodge Charger back window. Those are a larger window. So they're going to have to figure it out, right? Well, it's the same thing with us. We had to figure it out. We didn't have anybody to come train us. So we figured it out.
And the customer's still waiting. They want their car done.
Yeah.
The customer's waiting for you. Yeah.
And then I felt like I accomplished something, you know. I was like, hey, you know, like, look what I did, you know. And
that's awesome. I still have not done a Tesla.
Yeah, they're time consuming, but I think after you do them for a bit, it gets easier.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What I want to get really better at, and I've been doing some lately, what really empowered me is this last Tinder battles, is I already do PPF, but I'm not really 100% pro to where I feel like I can take any car and do PPF on. I still have that fear, like anybody does that probably leads my training, of like, can I really make this look like they want it to look? And so when I went to Tinder battles this last time, I honestly just got this burst of like encouragement of, you know what, like, why am I such a chicken? Look at everybody go, like, this is easy. And I came back and I started selling it to all my customers right away. And I was like, dude, why was I so scared? You know, now we're just putting window tint and paint protection on the cars, even if it's just little, like minor, like half a hood, and, you know, doing the door edges and the door cups, and you know, doing their gas tank. Like those are making me an extra $1,500 just to put that on, and it's so simple. So
yeah, we're our biggest downfalls.
I know. We are. I'm like, man, I need to practice what I preach.
Yeah, so, I know, right? That's the hardest thing. It's easy to say it, but then doing it yourself, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like that. And then, but I came back like, I'm glad I went to Tinder battles, because I came back like, all right,
motivated.
Yeah, like I need to upsell these customers and start putting on more PPF and just stop doing just only flat glass and window tint, you know.
Yeah.
I would wait for somebody to actually ask me, like, do you want to do you do paint protection? And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, but I never really was like confident enough to
advertising
be like,
it. Yeah.
Now I'm like,
but it's so crazy to see, because like if I was to look at you, if I was to talk to you, I would never think that you're not confident in anything that you do. And so it's so good and so empowering to see that, like, even a woman of your status at your level, like, you even still doubt yourself. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. I mean, like I said, we put what we need to put out,
Mm-hmm.
but they're back end of so much, we all have our flaws and we all have our fears, and we don't show our fears. And that's what I was telling you, like,
Right.
don't ever show your fears. But I have them, I there's things that I underestimate myself about, but once I get going and I fight my own battle in my head, and then I get better and better, and I overcome it. So you can
Yeah.
too, whatever you're facing, or I don't know what's going on in your personal lives with your shops or whatever, but just keep going and don't ever let nobody punk you down. Pretty much just roll with it.
Yeah,
Swing
absolutely.
back. I don't know,
Yeah.
but make it
Swing first,
happen.
axe later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So,
yeah.
so what has been like the best piece of advice that you've gotten
From
just from anyone, like
from
about business?
anywhere. Being in the industry, I'm gonna probably say going out to different events, and I'm not talking about like community events. I'm talking about like events that are in the film industry. I grab a lot of knowledge just going in there,
Hmm.
and I think that's where I get a lot of my, and social media, of course, browsing and looking at other people that I look at up to as influencers,
Mhm.
um, and just soaking up little different things that I pretty much grab knowledge from anywhere that's going to benefit my business. So by going out to these events, I highly recommend you both to go out to them. Even if you're like, gosh, that's too much money, or I just don't want to invest in that right now, or it's so worth it, because when you get there and you're watching everybody, what they're doing, different techniques, watching how they deal with other people, uh, really soak up all that and just
Mhm.
take it home. But don't take it home and just put it away. Take it home and really use it, and place it, into your own way,
Mhm.
and utilize it. So there's some people, they'll go out and they'll gain all this knowledge, and then they'll come back and be pumped up for a day or two, and then they're back to, well, they didn't utilize that knowledge, they went for
Right.
nothing, they wasted their time. But I go really for the informative information that's out there that's going to help me grow my business. So I would say that's what I do. I just go everywhere I possibly can,
Mhm.
when I can, and grab,
Speaking
pick people's
of,
brain. I'll go up to people that I look up to. There's a lot of people that look up to me, and there's a lot of people I look up to, and I want to talk to them. I won't show it, but I'll go up to them, and I will ask them questions as they're asking me questions, and they don't know that I'm just trying to like figure out their mind, like where their mind is at and how they're doing what they're doing. But I
Mhm.
do that. I do that too.
Speaking of like expanding your business. So one thing like that I really want to ask you is
That's
how
okay.
did you, so we're tenors, and I wanted to know, like, how did you end up taking your business from one point to like scaling it to a six-figure business? Like, what
Um,
was like the transitional part that you did, you feel
from
like?
it was hiring staff without being afraid. So
Oh,
we
that's
all can do so much by ourselves, right? But you can't do as much revenue without a team. And
Mhm.
before, it was like, I can get this one person, and this is long ago, that I can pay this much, affordable. I probably ripped them off, but they were willing. And so I would have my one person, help me, and I would do what I can only handle, which is, of
Mhm.
course, we only could handle so much. Especially being a mom and being a
Mhm.
business owner, and juggling everything. It's a challenge. Learning how to balance all of that is also a challenge. So I got to this point in my life where I was overwhelmed and stressed, and I started to know that there was more work on the table for me, but I didn't have the staff to get that work. So I, became more willing to let go of my money and share it, and use it where it needs to go to help me grow. Because at that time, it's like mine, like I made all
Mm-hmm.
this, is all mine. And you really
Mm-hmm.
don't know, like, this pile is there for a reason. You need to
Right.
use it in the right places. And that's what I did. I started hiring a regular person with real money on payroll. And I remember the very first person I hired, I was so excited to have him. And we were doubling the work. And then I was like, okay, well, now I know that with us two, we're able to do this. Now we're making even more money. Now I can hire even more people. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I did. I got myself a team, a strong team. And I showed them by me being an influence on them. So basically, I didn't sit aside just because I had a team, and I still don't. I'm in there grinding with them. I'm in there
Mm-hmm.
tinting windows. I'm in there, showing them, like, this is how I work. This is at the speed I like it at, and this is what I expect from you guys. So they see me and they follow my. So if I was to be lazy, they're probably going to get lazy. And I've tried it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come in my office and sit here, and then all of them, like little chicles, come in and they just like sit there too, and they'll look at me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is not going to work. So I go back in there, and then they go right behind me. And my sister laughs at that because she's like, dude, she's like, every time you come into the office, you'll be in there for like a few minutes, and then here comes one, here comes another one, here comes, and to this day they still do that, and they'll just be looking at me like, why are we in here? But because I have gotten that, where I've led by example, they go by that. And now they're
Right.
just, we've grown a great, strong, pretty motivated team. And just by being an example on the floor and in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Even though
That's
half the
awesome.
time I'm like, hold on guys, I got to record this, or I got to shoot this, or I got to do that. They already know that that's what it takes. They already know. At
Mm-hmm.
first they were like, why are you always in front of the camera? This is what it takes. I need
Right.
to market. So
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
I did, is just, hire more people, and don't be afraid to hire more people, because the more people, the more you're
You
able
can
to
do.
grow, the more help you have.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good advice. That's really good advice.
Hmm.
So,
It's
is there
real.
anything, yeah, is there anything you wish we had asked you that we missed?
Um, I think we're touching a lot of the pretty good topics so far.
Okay.
As of right now, I'm just curious on your guys' story, to be honest. I know you're on that side and it's my interview, but I'm still curious, like, how long have you guys been in the industry? What are your goals? And do you work for yourself? Do you work for a shop? I know Goddess Window Tinting is her own business, right? And you did
Yeah.
work at a shop. I got a
Yeah.
little bit of information at Tender Battles, but I didn't get to meet the other one. The
I'm I'm Alicia. Ace of
Alicia,
Shades.
yeah.
Ace of Shades is my business. And I've been tinting 10 months now.
10 months?
10 months, girl.
Oh, and you're doing great, because I was watching you.
Yes.
Yeah, I seen you and you were doing good. 10
Yes,
months.
ma'am.
I
So
So I
know,
have
we're all
I'm
amazed.
I'm guessing you're repetitive all day long.
yes,
You're
ma'am.
work tinting all day.
Well, so I still actually have a full-time job.
Oh, really?
So I go to my 9 to 5. After my 9 to 5, I'm tinting. Maybe before my 9 to 5, I'm a tint. During the weekend, I'm a tint. I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna figure out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put tinting into where I'm touching tint every single day, and that's helped my
Oh,
business grow a lot in 10 months.
okay. So you have your own side business, and then you have your 9 to 5.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your bread and butter, basically, your
Yes.
security.
So that pays for that. Well, that's really what started all of my to purchase all of my tinting stuff was my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So it's just like it helped. And also I had a shop. I just moved out of my shop last week, but I'm getting a new shop next week.
Yeah,
So that's
congrats.
always like I said, like some days, some weeks you're booming. The next week is
Yeah.
maybe nothing. And so that's
Mhm.
my 9 to 5 has always helped me like continue to keep paying my rent as well.
Yeah, and that's important. That's smart. I even tell people that train with us, like, when they're like, I'm quitting my job. I'm like, no, no, no. Don't quit your job. That is your bread and butter
You
right
have that
now.
nest egg for winter.
Yeah, it's going to take a
Absolutely.
minute. So just chill out and stay at your job and then do this on as a side for now. And I there's some people, they didn't care. They're just like, I'm quitting. They went
I know, because
full
you start
for
getting
it.
the tent money, and you like,
Yeah.
because it's been several times where I've been like, I'm putting my 2 weeks in. I'm putting my 2 weeks in. And I just
Because
can't
you
do
already
it.
know
So
what
I'm
you
just
can
like,
make in one day. You know what? I forgot to mention to you guys when I was tinting, when I almost got kicked out, I I had a job at Wiener Schnitzel. That was my very first job. I was doing hot dogs. And
is
it's
that
so
even
funny
still around?
because it reminds me of back then when I was younger and I was working. I didn't want anybody to know that I had to go to Wiener Schnitzel and put in my 4 hours. And then I was like, I got my paycheck and it was like $4.25 an hour back then. It's petty, but it was a lot, back then. I was like an assistant manager, a night crew manager
And
or
it was
something. It
$4.25.
was $4.25. And when I got my check, I remember after I started to get more cars, and I was like, what the heck is this? Like, I just worked all these hours, heck tired, and this is all I get. And that's why I feel what you're saying, because you do get spoiled with what you make tinning,
Yeah.
and you enjoy tinning. It's your art. It's
Yeah.
fun to you. The after look, the customer's face, like
Yeah.
you enjoy all of it. So
Mhm.
it's like,
And then you
I could be
battle with
doing
like,
this.
if I just spent 40 hours on my business, how can it grow versus 40 hours at a 9 to 5? But
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
sit back and just wait, because
Just wait.
God gonna
Yeah,
always, he knows the path,
yeah.
he knows the plan.
Yeah, it's job security. Even though like we may look at it like that, it's still extra money. And I did it for a little bit, and then finally I started to get more work. I landed some good car lot accounts, and I already knew like they already promised me this many cars a month. So I already knew that was stability for me. And then I went to
Right.
another car lot. I don't do car lots anymore, by the way. I just I guess I could say that they can't afford me. So,
Yeah, no, I could see
because
that
they
for
don't
We
sure.
knew
want
where
to
you was
pay.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not gonna like
They
no.
want to
But
work you
if
to death for a little
yeah,
bit of pay.
they do, and then they're like, I could give you $100. Like, no, I can't even pay
Per
my
car?
employee for that. It's like, but if they were just a little bit more understanding of the work we put in, it's so hideous. Like they don't understand that there's a lot behind us, what we're doing. And they look at it like, who cares? I could just give them $100 and they're happy. It's like, no, we have overhead, we have people to pay. We're an operating business. And, if they were just more
Yeah.
understanding of that stuff and just pay us a little bit fair to what we're already asking. I mean, I'm not asking for the full price, but at least make it fair, worth our time to
Right.
pick up these cars, tint them for you, and bring them back in, even offer you a warranty for your customer. Then we can do some good work. We'd love to
Yeah,
have
especially
the
if you're picking them
accounts.
up. That means I'm
Yeah,
mobile.
yeah. I'm like, oh, I
Yeah, 'cause
used to, but
the
now I'm
cars
like,
that I'm doing for you, I could be doing that same amount of cars at a
right,
normal price.
exactly.
And so
And they don't
with
see
you
that.
gotta work with me.
They punk you. They don't punk me no more. This is a good point, because remember I told you everybody punked me. That was another punk I had. I would be working my butt off, picking up these cars, and then I would get, I would do all this work and put in all these hard hours of tinning, and I didn't have a big staff back then at all. I have one person that I underpaid, and it was just like, it's not going to happen no more. And sometimes they know now. They just walk right past me like, she's
We
not going
can't
to do
afford
it.
her.
We can't afford her no more. I'm like, you guys already punked me long enough. Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I worked for dealerships for 7 years, and
Uh-huh.
all I did was cheap tent work, but with like decent film, and like
Mm-hmm.
killed myself over it for way too long. Just
Yeah.
went out on my own a couple months ago and finally opened my eyes. Like
Mm-hmm.
with tenor battles, I mean, like once I met Montana and we started talking more, and then I went to tenor battles and saw how like how much better it is,
Yeah.
being like, because like I was putting out high quality stuff for such little pay, so
Yeah.
time consuming, and it was draining. It was too much. Like sometimes you got to
Yeah.
learn the hard way.
You do. But I think it was good repetitive work for you. So
Absolutely.
that's definitely doing that all day. And there's another, who Latina tenor is. She actually worked with the car dealers, and I remember her saying the same thing, like they made her do so many cars over and over, and she was just like busting her butt off, and she was just not seeing the money in return. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good experience for you. It was good for you to be able to have that, repetitive work to get better and better and better. And now that you're on your own, I bet you it's just like, it'll be good. But really market yourself. Really market yourself, grow yourself, your business page, utilize every social media platform there is. Don't just post once a month, post all the time.
Yeah.
But do live videos of you just in your work area, set your phone, and really just get that recognition on you as your own business and your face, and it will pay off. Like people will start coming and trusting in you. If you post one car a month, that's not going to work.
They're not remembering you.
You have a good following. Is it how do you say your name?
Alicia.
Yeah. You have a good following. I seen that, and you have a lot of engagement. So you're definitely doing it. You're doing it. I seen it.
She's
and then
good.
she is. I was like, oh
Thank
damn,
you.
okay. But it's just by showing her face and doing what she's doing. Like, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I got stuck on there for a bit. I was like, oh hey, and and it goes to show that it works, and that's what people do to us,
Now I agree, because I don't have a Google or anything, so all my customers come from social media. So like my social media works.
Social media is like probably where a lot of our customers come from. Even the CTA, like, you know how it tells you the analytics on your web page? It'll tell you where people are coming from. So the other day I was on there and I was looking, I was like, oh my gosh, like social media, Instagram was like way up there, versus every other platform. And it was just like, okay, that's my money maker.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
okay. Yeah. Well, we're hitting the hour mark, so I think it's about time to head out. But it was amazing talking to you. Because together we are changing the tint game. So tune in for the next discussion of us empowering women.
Yeah. And then just know that you guys can follow me on Modesto_window_tint and California_tint_academy.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Go and follow her. You will be inspired and you will see the best of the best.
Thank you. Bye, ladies. Have a good night.
Bye. Thank you. Bye. Nice meeting you.
Bye.
So we want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Tint Life podcast. This was Women Wednesdays again with the lovely co-hosts. I'll let them say for themselves their names.
Kayla Ramirez with Goddess Window Tinting.
Alicia Yancey with Ace of Shades Window Tinting.
Cool. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Like I say, this is going to be something that the ladies will be doing on Wednesday, because it's a lot of women in the industry, and now they're able to come on here and talk the lady talk, so which is a wonderful thing. So ladies, y'all make sure y'all tell everyone to tune in next Wednesday.
I'm sorry, I had to sneeze.
Tune in next Wednesday, you guys.
Tune in next Wednesday. Thank you so much. Bye.
Awesome.
Bye.